Howdy, everybody. We are live. I got too excited basically. It's that time of year. Again, if you know, you know, I am hardcore intuitive. Everything the way I work is intuitive, and it turns out that usually seasonally I find myself switching up the decks. So I did a little event the other day and shared with people. I always work with 7 decks. The majority of the decks I have been gifted to me, except for this juicy one. The Osho deck is my oldest and personal deck. I bought this for myself. I'm pretty sure this deck cost me like 75 pounds. It was a pricey deck, even though 12 years ago. So 12 years ago, I buy this Osho deck and I start practicing with it. I use it. I uh I actually was later in that year, but around that year as well, I probably had a tarot reading myself. I remember being a bit nervous and then really, really getting a lot of value out of the tarot reading. And again, this is like 12 years ago. And then the summer I started reading, it happened through serendipity where I was sort of asking for more offerings, as it were, because I didn't quite align with the coaching world. I didn't perceive myself as a coach. And yeah, I wanted to be able to offer loving guidance to people. And I remember going to visit my mother. My mother has a storage unit here in the UK because she travels back and forth between Canada and the United Kingdom, where I live. My sister's in Canada. And yeah, so I'm like looking for something or in her storage unit, and then this juicy deck fell out. So you've got your classic Rider Waite, and it just so happened that the deck fell out and it was with a book. And I was like, oh. And so I just binged like my yoga life. I just obsessively nerd out on as much material as I can. Like in 2008 to 2012, I was just binging on everything I could about yoga and doing all the courses I could. And then since about 2019, pretty much all of my reading is either astrology or tarot. A bit of a nerd with that stuff, but my intuitive element is part of the resonation vibration. So again, I'm not like, I do sometimes read from the books, but I'm not following a textbook. It's about the heart, which is what All to Love is all about as well. To me, it's the heart of humanity, and my own spiritual awakening process, including a dream, was a green ray, and activating and or healing the heart of humanity so that we can perceive through a lens of love and unity. In no way do I think that's some sort of utopian vision. I think it's a potential, and it would have its own series of challenges. And this is part of, depending on what perspective we're carrying or where we're at in our journey, it's like we can when we're into partying. I speak for myself, right? Because that's the best reference point as far as experiential reality goes. But when you're really into partying, you might think not partying is just boring. But then you stop partying and you start to get really sensitive and you start to get really proactive about what you love and enjoy. And you do more of that. And I always say there's going to always be a counter, right? Like, as far as we're on the planet and there's duality and there's opposing forces, we're going to be part of that experience. So to me, it's not like an escapist thing or a utopian thing. It's the fact that as we rise in love, we have to be more responsible. Why? Because we're more sensitive. It's not that the pain's not there, it's more intense. And so hence you want to be more responsible. It's our comfort and convenience and privilege, I think, that allows us to deny some of that stuff. And certainly the collective programming around shame and shaming our emotions, and or the superiority that goes along with the ability to repress emotion, and or control, because that's a lot of the outpouring I'm witnessing, is that when we don't process our emotions effectively, we tend to have to control our reality, and or judgment. So we judge people and we control them, and if we can't control them and or repress them through judgment, that's when we start to see different abuse tactics and things like this, which really to me is an unconscious projection of our shadow, of course. And yet the more the meek become responsible for the earth that's inherently theirs, we can all rise in greater love and share the benevolence of that truth and sensitivity with the whole. It's the rising of love, but it's the truth of the Christ, right? Like the Christ itself is just one who knows thine is the kingdom, that you're one with God, that the divine spark that alives you is the same that alives everybody. That's like the essence of namaste in yoga. It's namaste as I see the divine in you. It's the same divine light in all of us, right? And then we get to have these unique expressions through the vessel, which is just incroyable. And I sort of, the more I attune to that flow and trust, the more I want to attune to that flow and trust. And really juicy nugget around living intuitively, because that's, I guess, part of the brand and part of what I teach. But a really good question about maybe 6 months ago. And somebody came to a retreat and asked me about intuition. And she said, well, I followed my intuition and it didn't work out. I ended up getting betrayed, or my friend bailed, or. And what came to me in that moment was, no, intuition isn't about like sunshine and rainbows and lollipops. Intuition isn't like, oh, once I follow my intuition, life is going to be super easy and effortless and everything's going to work out. That's not been my experience at all. However, what I can reflect or recognize, and what I said to this woman was like, following the intuition doesn't mean it's all cookie cutter rainbows. Following intuition means you're going to learn the lessons your soul is here to learn. As challenging or brutal as that might be, I can see it in my own life. It has nothing to do with what we're manifesting or what we think we want or who we think we are. Living intuitively is a heart-centered connection. Personally, I believe that if we're living intuitively, we're living in service to the greater good, because the more you're in your intuition, the more you're in your integrity, and integrity is one for the whole, which is, for a lot of us sensitives, the disparity of the mind manipulation that we receive here. War and famine, and you're just like, why, God, don't do that to each other, right? And it's that witnessing of disparity and suffering that promotes the regenesis, i.e. the will to love, the desire to make the world a better place for you, for me, and the entire human race. What up, MJ? That's my initials as well. I'm thinking great minds think alike, right, MJ? Okay, we're gonna do a little reading. Like I said, I got kind of excited. I got a little bit excited about, I don't know how to create. I'm pretty sure I'm live, but it says that the comments are disabled. So unfortunately, I'm not going to get to see any comments if there are people hanging out with me here. Again, like 6 years ago, 2017, 18, 19, and 20 a bit, I was just doing live shares all the time, like on the reg. So I can see a couple of you there. Anyway, I want to say hi, hi, hi. And let's just do a little card pull for you guys. Okay, so divine guidance and loving clarity is my intention before my computer battery runs out. Divine guidance and loving clarity for my love is supreme. Let's just get a little quick card pull. This is for the all to love community. We are broadcasting on the YouTube. Today, I happened to get through a unique share for TikTok, a unique share for Instagram and Facebook, and you guys. YouTube is my favorite familia. This is where I've really grabbed, the Patreon, and like some of my super tight internet friends are all from YouTube that crossed over. Now we're all friends on all the platforms, but it was YouTube years ago. Someone called Aluna Ash 90, who I was listening to. She happened to share one of my videos, which is actually the big boost that helped me be able to do live streams, because you can't monetize your channel or do live streams if you've got under 1,000 subscribers. And anyone putting stuff out on YouTube knows that's not necessarily as easy as you think. I was obviously sharing regularly between 2012 and 2019 or 2018, before someone shared and boosted, and anyone knows as well, like you might get like 50 pounds or maybe 60 pounds a year from ad revenue, 60 pounds a year for ad revenue, and you have a little channel, but it's not better than nothing. And I think just based on my own ego, like being humble and just having that good work ethic has been a big part of it, and to dissolve a lot of the grandiosity that we probably adopt through the world economy and the projection of fame and fortune, which is like any of us. I think we think if we are famous, we think if we have all the money, we think. And thinking is often not really aligned with truth. It just is thoughts. What is truth? I don't know. It's kind of perplexing. Let's do a reading, okay? Divine guidance and love and clarity. This is for my Ultra Love TV collective on the YouTube channel, Divine Guidance and Love and Clarity. Let's see what we get. These are the messages for the Ultra Love Collective, Divine Guidance and Love and Clarity. Divine Guidance and Love and Clarity. Ooh, there's like a resistance coming through. You're like resisting a new beginning in love. Why? I get a feeling of a repeat. Why is there resistance? Because it's somebody coming back from the past, my lovers. This is like solid, like thinking somebody's solid, or thinking we know someone and then a ghosting or they disappear. You're dealing with a water sign. This is Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. It's like, I don't know. You probably had like a bit of nothing substantial was ever created. Nothing substantial, no real foundation was ever created with this person. And they're definitely moving in the other direction, which is why I'm getting like a ghosty feel. But here they are, lover's energy in the upright. Let's try this again, shall we? But did I say that? Was there resistance? There's resistance because I'm like, so special. As in, you're probably not gonna be like, woohoo, yeah, fresh new beginning. It's like, ooh, I don't know about this one, my lovers. The lovers is in the upright. So like, there's love here. There's two people that reflect or love one another. Ooh, you guys. Oh my gosh. Ooh, there could be a big shift here. The Ten of Pentacles with the lovers, I'm like, I really am like, holy shit, this is big. This is big for some of you. This is like somebody from the past coming back, being like, I sorry, I fucked up here. Let's have it all together. Why is the Fool? There's seeming like a connection. So that card wanted to come up as well. I don't know. I'm getting a feeling like this person doesn't know how to move forward without you. Or they're like, my life is just falling apart and I fucked it up with so and so, and I want to make it work. Work. There's like resistance, there's like avoidance here, but then there's Lovers, Ten of Pentacles. So I'm like, we need more clarity. What's the vibe with Taurus? How does this connect? Okay, so maybe one or both people have been in like a hardcore hermit mode phase. The Fool is reversed because that's what's giving me a sense of this is not a brand new beginning. As in the brand new beginning or the encounter or that initial spark has already taken place. Hence where there's no foundation, but there's an encounter, right? which would have sparked the potential of a new beginning that never went anywhere. The foundation never got laid down. The connection was never sustained. Knight of Cups reversed, little bit of a player. I'm not getting like the worst vibratories, but they're not like, that's why there was no foundation, is that what they said or what they wanted to offer, or like maybe the feelings that they expressed just weren't that, either they didn't have the feels or they weren't able to express the truth. That feels more resonant to me. Like they couldn't, like they might have had mega fancy feels for you and just couldn't say anything. They might have had foundations elsewhere also. Okay. So they might have had stuff going on with other people. They're like, God damn it, I can't, do both, or I've got to focus here. Hermit coming out of a hermit mode, expressing. 10 of Pentacles is somebody's got some money here. And they want to invest. Somebody's got some abundance. They want to invest into this relationship. It's like resources, money, whatever, right? Lots of stuff, lots of community feel. They want to invest it into love. And it looks like you are the primetime love candidate. Just have a bit of strength. Ooh, we got some new cards. So we're going to pull one card from each deck for the final layers. I'm getting a sense this person might be bound by something or someone. They want to invest in you. That's where the strength comes. This is requiring some mega patience, testing of faith, testing of will. It's like they're locked in. This is where I'm like, they could be locked into a certain contract. It's either work or love. Definitely there's just such a dominance of cups, the lovers, and pentacles. It's like, I really want to come and see you. I really want to start this new thing, but I'm locked into a 6-month contract, or my divorce isn't final yet, or I'm not, it might not be divorce. It might just be, I'm still engaged in this and I don't feel morally sound to kind of engage with both, right? Something about a commitment to your spiritual practice as a way to root your strength, to connect your strength to your strength, like really embody it. Final messages here. I feel that for some of you, there's like a little bit of a freedom break around stop caring so much. Stop caring so much. And it is to do with like what other people think. And I'm getting a shit. There's something limited about the way you're caring for others, possibly. And it might be that I'm hearing a message. It's funny because this came through just like personal chats about like, there might be you're just in a phase where you're going to have to be selfish. You might have to break some of the rules. Why? Because there's more abundance and more clarity coming in, possibly through people you meet, right? So the people we've been hanging out with like lie to us or don't tell the truth or like have like too much other shit going on or can't give or can't focus or can't bring whatever, then it's like, well, I need to, and there is a sense with the lover central theme. And I would say some of you probably been working on this for a while, but finding your tribe, finding the people that you align with, that's meaning that you can be yourself. You can be your being. You can be who you are. This is something too, like with right synergy, you're energized and you're allowed to be completely yourself. That's just the way it is. That's what healthy relationships are. Anything other than that, there's likely to be manipulation and abuse. This is not bad or good. I don't really buy into that. I believe us all to be working stuff out. Sometimes it's just the way people talk about karma. We're always getting our karma, but that's what tricky and painful relationship dynamics, certainly from a karmic standpoint, is that they're helping us heal core wounds. They're helping us heal the unloved ways that we grew up. But that, of course, connects to the ancestry of our people, right? Of our whoever that is. And I know for myself, there's been such monumental abandonment and rejection wounds. And then within that wounding, the belonging piece of like, where do I belong and all that kind of stuff. But from a very logical point of view, both of my parents were adopted at birth. They were given up for adoption. And so the adoption wound is like a thing. And especially when they're, when you're children that have been adopted, and that kind of boomer generation is kind of tricky stuff, because that generation was like, just work, Wall Street, nuclear family, divorce. Like, there's a lot of externalization of the shadow with less honoring of the actual healing of the heart, where our generation, to break certain cycles of abuse, we're having to own the pain that we endured as a being, whether in our mother's womb, whether in childhood, whether, because I see it multi-layered. I see how even just watching that gosh darn television, which I have not for over 10 years, I stopped watching TV and wanting to watch TV back in 2010. So 15 years, actually, 15 years, no TV. But there's a reason, because I felt like it was corrupting my mind. I felt like it was making me apathetic. I felt like it was making me a needless consumer, which is kind of the only purpose of a television, is to advertise, make us think we need stuff we don't need. And of course, distract us and in that consumerist conveyor belt, just make us apathetic consumers. So that's not my vibe. I care too much, and always have. That's part of the mesh, is that for as long as I can remember, my little heart has always just felt the pain of the world. And so things like enslavement and animal cruelty and just cruelty in general and unfairness, and it's always icked me. And it's my earlier awakening journey really was based on me renouncing materiality. It's only in the last few years that, and through financial collapse and brutal heartache, that I realized that I can't, none of us can do it completely on our own without sufficient support networks. And two, when we don't have roots, we're going to burn out. And that was my biggest egoic failure or learning, was that if I don't have roots here on this planet, my creativity and my mish will burn me out. Like, I won't be able to sustain it. So here we are at home sustaining it so that I can keep showing up and share from the heart, because that's really what it's all about. I wish everyone well. I hope that reading was fun and enjoyable for you. Nice to see everybody live, even though I didn't get to like chat with you. I'll figure it out. My computer now is getting so old. Although I think it was John Boehner who was like, you can go and get that. Like, I can reset stuff. I could probably clean up my laptop and improve its performance just through doing a bit of tweaking. Anyway, boring or not, or maybe you've had a juicy chat with me. I appreciate all of you. I obviously I really like getting the flow and showing up and sharing the readings. Check out Instagram, of course. Subscribe to Alta Love. That's the website that I work from. And you can book a private reading. I do Zoom readings. They're a little bit more expensive because it requires that kind of specific time. I would almost rate the pre-recorded readings. Like, I do find that when I'm able to just channel the messages and like let stuff come out, that's when some of the best flow comes. Anyway, at your leisure, and feel free to reach out. I'm now offering, instead of just having bookings, also offering a yoga consultation call for people that are not sure, but they just want to have a chat. You can book a call for £15. Over the years, the way I work with people is that there's slightly different rates, depending on people's like earnest desire, reliability, and then how many times a week they want to do yoga and meditation with me. So feel free to check all that out. Mega appreciation for you guys. Interesting reading. We'll see what comes through. It's June 3rd. I'm MJ, and most loving vibratories for all of you. Check out All to Love apparel. Check out All to Love, the website. And I look forward to seeing you guys real soon. Hopefully tomorrow. Take care. Peace out.